In a bustling downtown Chicago cafe, the morning rush hums with energy. Jake, a construction worker clad in worn boots and a weathered jacket, steps into line behind a sharply dressed woman. She stands tall and composed, but as she reaches the counter and orders her coffee, something unexpected happens. Her card is declined. A red error flashes across the screen. For a moment, the confident air around her falters. She fumbles through her designer bag, hoping for another card, her face flushed with embarrassment as the barista waits. Jake watches quietly. Without hesitation, he steps forward, taps his card, and smiles. "Hey, don't worry. I got this one," he says casually, as though paying for a stranger's coffee is no big deal. The woman looks at him, surprised but grateful, and manages a soft "thank you," her eyes lowering in humility. She's clearly not used to being on the receiving end of help. What Jake doesn't know is that she's no ordinary customer. Just days ago, she was the CEO of a rising tech company, recently ousted by her board. She's lost more than just a job, her identity, her pride, and her place in the world feels shaken. But this simple gesture, from a stranger in dusty boots, pierces through that weight. He didn't ask who she was or why she couldn't pay, he just helped. In that brief moment of kindness, her story begins to shift, and so does his, in ways neither of them can yet imagine. Outside the cafe, the city buzzes on, but Jake sits quietly on a bench, sipping his coffee. His work boots tap lightly against the pavement as he enjoys the brief pause before a long day. Moments later, the woman he helped steps out. She hesitates, then sits beside him. There's a heaviness in her posture, her confident exterior now stripped away in the morning light. For a few seconds, they sit in silence, two strangers brought together by circumstance. She finally speaks, her voice low and uncertain. "I'm not usually in this situation," she admits, eyes fixed on the ground. "I was the CEO of my own tech company. Just last week, the board forced me out. I lost everything I built." The confession hangs in the air, raw and unpolished. Jake doesn't flinch. He doesn't ask questions or offer clichés. He just nods slowly, absorbing her words with quiet understanding. "Life hits hard sometimes," he says gently. "Doesn't mean you're done." His words are simple, but they land deep. There's no judgment in his tone, just empathy, the kind that comes from living through tough seasons himself. In that moment, the woman doesn't feel like a failure or someone who needs saving. She just feels seen. Two people from different worlds, sitting side by side, sharing a moment of humanity that neither expected when they stepped into that cafe. It's the beginning of something neither of them yet fully understands, something quietly life-changing. A short walk from the cafe leads them to a quiet park bathed in morning sun. Birds chirp softly, leaves rustle in the breeze, and the chaos of the city feels miles away. Jake and the woman stroll slowly, coffee cups in hand, letting the silence stretch comfortably between them. Then, gently, Jake begins to share. He tells her about his life, how he had to drop out of college to care for his sick mother, how he works construction jobs to make ends meet, and how he studies at night, clinging to the dream of finishing his degree. There's no self-pity in his voice, just quiet resilience. She listens, genuinely moved by his honesty. As they continue walking, laughter bubbles up between them over small stories and shared frustrations. The initial awkwardness is gone. In its place is something real. She turns to him and says softly, "You reminded me of the kind of leader I used to be, grounded, grateful, human." Her eyes are distant for a second, reflecting on how far she's drifted from that version of herself. Jake smiles, not missing a beat. "Maybe this setback is just a setup for something greater," he says. His words land with unexpected weight. She stops walking for a moment, truly taking it in. A stranger had reminded her not only of who she was, but of who she still could be. Two lives briefly intersecting, now gently shifting toward something new. 1 year later, the lobby of a sleek, modern tech office hums with quiet efficiency. Sunlight pours through tall glass windows, bouncing off polished floors. Jake steps inside, noticeably different from the man in dusty boots a year ago. Today, he wears a fitted suit, holds a resume in hand, and carries the weight of both nerves and hope. He's here for a job interview, a shot at something better. He glances around, uncertain, when the elevator chimes open. Out steps a confident figure. The same woman whose coffee he paid for that morning so long ago. But now, she radiates strength and clarity, a far cry from the shaken woman on that cafe bench. "Jake," she says, eyes lighting up. "I was hoping you'd come." He's stunned. "Wait. You're the CEO?" She smiles warmly and nods. "I started a new company, one with heart. And I want people like you, real people, to help me build it." Jake stands frozen for a moment, disbelief flashing across his face. The world seems to pause. "You believed in a stranger that day," she says gently. "Now I believe in you." In a single moment, everything comes full circle. The coffee. The park. The conversation. What began as a small act of kindness has turned into a life-changing opportunity. The elevator doors slide open again, but this time, Jake doesn't hesitate. He walks forward, toward a future neither of them could have imagined. The sun sets over the city skyline, casting a golden hue across the rooftop of the tech company. The world below is alive with lights and movement, but up here, it's calm, peaceful. Jake stands beside her, dressed in business casual now, a confident ease in his posture. He's no longer just a construction worker, he's an employee with purpose, a student again, and part of something meaningful. They lean on the railing in comfortable silence, watching the day fade. She glances at him, a soft smile forming. "That $4 coffee," she says, her voice filled with quiet emotion. "Changed my life." Jake chuckles, shaking his head. "Didn't expect that," he says, still amazed at how such a small act could lead to this moment. She nods, her eyes reflecting the warm light of the setting sun. "Kindness always comes back," she says. "Sometimes bigger than we imagine." He looks out at the horizon, taking in the vastness of it all. What started as a simple, selfless gesture has rippled into something much greater, a new business, a renewed purpose, a deep friendship. As the camera pulls back, the glowing city stretches out before them, symbolizing endless possibilities. Two people who met by chance now stand side by side, forever changed, not by money or success, but by a moment of unexpected humanity. The world continues to move, but for them, this is where everything truly began.